So a little bit of background on this before we get going. I'm recording in 18 days. That's 18 days to get a bunch of duets ready to record. That means I've got a lot of work to do. I'm just going to talk to you very briefly today about how I'm approaching learning one of these pieces of music. This particular piece of music is called Swish by Rob Keeley. Now, for those who don't know Rob Keeley's music, it's very, very rhythmical, very, very energetic. As you can see here from the first two lines of music, which is all I'm going to talk about today, the backwards and forwards between these two parts, you can see the running semiquavers. Well, they're consistent between the two parts, either rhythmically placed, you can see in the alto part in the first bar, or the fluency of the semiquavers in the tenor part. I'm playing the tenor part, so that's what I'm going to talk about. But this approach, it'd be very interesting to hear Victoria's take on this, because she's obviously learning the same piece, but the alto part, I'm playing the tenor part. You can see there actually that the some pencil markings that I've put on. In the second bar, I've just put two little quavers underneath those two semiquavers. That's just to very clearly make it obvious to me that those are just two quavers. Just makes it easier at a glance. I can see that those are two quavers. That's where I am in the bar. First things first though, let's have a look at this first bar. Right, the first bar, constant semiquavers. A lot of accidentals thrown in there. I just need to make sure that my fingers know it. So let's do it. Got a sticky G sharp there. That needs sorting. Okay, yeah, that felt quite comfortable. What was quite nice about that is that all the accidentals are written in there. Even back to our naturals, a lot of them have had to be cancelled out from previous notes in the bar, so I can get my fingers around it quite nicely. Okay, yeah, no, I'm quite comfortable with that. The second bar, got to be rhythmically accurate. I'm not going to be able to just play that straight off. I'm going to need to get a metronome. First of all, what speed am I doing it at? Well, let me base it on what speed I was doing that first bar. So let's have a look. So I was doing it quite steady. I was doing it about 72 beats per minute. You can see it's 96 beats per minute I need to be aiming for. So I'm a little bit under, but I'm not too worried about that. One thing I'm going to do is multiply 72 by 2. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I want the click in quavers, not crotchets. It's just going to help me place these notes a little bit more accurately. Instead of waiting for a whole beat, I'm going to have that security of the quaver beat keeping me more in time. 72 times 2. 144. Yeah. So, okay, there's my quaver beat. So the tick is on the quavers. Let me just go back to that first bar. Just make sure I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, okay, that feels alright. Okay, so now I've got my quaver beat. Let me now, and this is where those two quavers on that second beat really come in, because I know that I'm just lining up with that click. That's all I need to do for those middle two notes, that C and the E flat, just need to line up with the click. Let's do it. Off we go. And you'll see, can you see that little line just underneath that third beat, that semiquaver rest? That's again just a little cue for me visually to see that that's the third beat. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm coming in just after that third beat. The G at the end of the bar is right on that last click of the bar, right on the last quaver. It just helps me place those notes a little bit more accurately. Let's do it. Just that second bar again. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm quite comfortable with that. Let's try and put them two bars together. Okay, so I'll do the first bar, go straight into the second bar. Notice how I'm keeping this speed consistent. Really, really important. If I'd have got to that second bar and I couldn't do it in time, with this click, I would have slowed it down. No way that I would have tried to push through that and get my fingers working. No point, absolutely no point. Stop the click, find a slower speed, and do the whole thing at that speed. Don't fall into the trap of doing one bar one speed, another bar another, because you're just going to do that in a performance or a recording. Keep it nice and consistent. Increase the speed of the whole thing gradually. There we go. Okay, so I've got that down at 72 beats per minute. My quaver beat is on 144 beats per minute, because that's just going to give me a little bit more of a safety net to make sure I can really place these notes in the right place. Let's look at the second line. Okay, there's a little blip there. Can you hear that jump from the D down to the G? Well, I'm not happy with it. It's a support thing. I'm not supporting enough. I'm not pushing enough through. There's probably a little bit of fuzz going on in the reed as well. Maybe I've not spent enough time warming the sound up. Let's just do it again. I mean, we're talking about finger technique here, so maybe shouldn't be too worried about that. I'm thinking out loud here. These are all the conversations that are going on in my head while I'm practicing all the time, questioning what it sounds like. Why am I not happy with that? What is wrong with that? Let's try it again. Okay, yeah, it's getting a little bit better now. So the problem I'm having is between that D and the G. A lot of stuff's going on there. The movement over the break from a D with my octave key on down to the G. It's over the break. It's a tricky little jump, that. Yeah, I'm going to have to work a little bit more on that. It's not for now. My fingers just need to get used to this, but that's been logged. That's another practice session there. Second bar. Again, I've put my little markings on, my quaver marking on that second full beat, and I've put my little line just under the third beat to show me that that bottom B flat comes in just after the third beat, or the click on the with the metronome. Let's just look at that second bar. Again, consistent speed, 1/4/4 with my quavers. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. Placing that last B flat, it's a tricky little bit, that. It's a good job the dynamics F, because the low notes on the sax pretty grumbly at quite a dynamic, so I'm glad that that's a F with an accent. It's nice writing. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. Let's try and glue those two bars together. This is the third and fourth bar. Okay, let's do the whole thing. Let's do the first 4 bars at crotchet 72, 1/4/4 with my quavers. Right, here we go. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. I'm just keeping that ticking over. I'm just going to do, and I'll do this for quite a while. I really will do this for quite a while, because what I can see is that the rest of the piece is very, very rhythmical as well. The rest of the piece is going to have this same kind of accuracy. It's going to have this same energy all the way through. So if I can really settle into this crotchet 72 beat pulse, I'm not a million miles away from the crotchet 96. So I'm not too worried about that at the minute. I'm just going to keep things ticking over. Just make sure my fingers get into this sound world, into this rhythmic movement, and I'm going to see how I get on. That was how I'm approaching learning this new piece of music from a rhythmic point of view, getting my fingers used to these kind of what could be seen as kind of awkward finger movements and movements round the instrument. And then from a rhythmical point of view, a little tip, just mark it on the page, anything that's going to help you understand that rhythm better. And the other thing is the use of a metronome. So important in music like this, that's got to be so rhythmically accurate, and the two parts have got to line up so well, particularly in a recording situation as well. It's just got to be so accurate, this piece, that I'm never going to work on this without a metronome. It would be a waste of time to work on this piece without a metronome.